Hi everyone, it's Miss Amy, and today I would love to talk to you a little bit about empathy and how we teach and encourage children to have empathy. First and foremost, we need to come from a place where we are empathetic. And what that means is really trying to understand and put ourselves in other people's shoes by describing or naming a situation or a feeling that's going on, and not only do it for ourselves but really try to walk children through that as well so that they become more aware of their thoughts and feelings and how we kind of deal with those, what we put out to the world, from what we're receiving, and also how that's received and perceived by other people. So the main most important thing to remember is that, of course, this is a skill that we all have to work on every single day. And the sooner that we encourage children to be empathetic and not only to be kind to one another, but to really be empathetic, the more natural it becomes. This is a really cute story from Conscious Discipline. It's called Schubert's New Friend. And I'm going to read it to you and then just go over some points in the back that are really, really great when we're trying to teach children about empathy. And I'm going to have Shubert assist. Hooray, hooray, a new friend to meet. Hooray, hooray, a new friend to greet. Shubert sings as he creates a welcome greeting for the new student at school. So this is really sweet. If, let's say, in the middle of your year, you know that you're getting a new child, to really kind of prepare the kids and encourage them to be kind and empathetic and interested in the child so they can make the child feel, more welcome because they're nervous too. He practices the greeting with his sister Sophie so she will get it just right. Touch knuckles, hammer up, hammer down, forearms touch. It's a cool greeting. As they walk to school, Sophie cheers, I bet it is a girl with an antenna that curl. Smart as can be and can fly like me. And Shubert says, I bet it is a boy who can light up with joy, fast as can be, and can run like me. So, of course, kids always relate to things that they're familiar with in the world according to their own experience. So they both wanted the new student to be like them. And you'll certainly see that, and I'm sure you do all the time in your own kids, either in the classroom or at home. At school, the Ant triplets print, "We welcome you" on the cover of a class book to welcome welcome the new student. Big Benny prepares the camera to take a photo of their new friend for the Friends and Family Board. The class buzzes with more excitement than a field trip to the circus. All eyes watch as the class door opens. So something really cute to do either at home on your refrigerator, if there's parents watching this, is a Friends and Family board, or you can put it up on your refrigerator however you want to arrange the pictures. And then in your classrooms for our teachers and administrators watching, it's great to have the kids bring in pictures of their family, their friends, and things like that, and put them, where the kids can see them at eye level, because that's also a sense of comfort and familiarity during the day if kids are having a hard day. And of course, kids love to tell stories about themselves and their families, so that's a great way to start the conversation with your children at the beginning of the year. Mrs. Bookbinder announces, class, let's welcome a new member to our school family. His name is Spencer. The smiles turn to shock. So there's Spencer. And they weren't expecting Spencer the spider. Long hairy legs and big blue eyes are not what they expected. Spencer the spider looks different from everyone else. So this is also something so important to share and underscore with our kids about, regardless of if someone is like us or different, if they look different or eat different foods, it's a great opportunity to really encourage the kids to get to know someone and not judge them by their looks or their clothes or anything else like that, but to really try to come from a place of trying to get to know and understand. And that's really the building block of empathy. Sophie mumbles, well, he can't fly like me. Shubert mutters, too many legs to run as fast as me. Benny snickers. his kind of ugly could break the camera. Wow. The class laughs so hard that the ant triplets begin to snort. So again, the teasing and everything go with having little kids, but it's really important for us to try to turn those into moments so that they really understand kind of what that does to another person. Spencer curls into a ball, covering his face with his 4 legs and 4 arms. Mrs. Bookbinder takes a deep, calming breath. She knows that her class does not understand how it feels to be a new student or to look different from everyone else. So that's the most important part too for us as adults when something is going on and we need to address it, to check ourselves first so that we're coming from a place of empathy with children, that we take our own deep breaths and check in with the kids and really encourage them to do the same, so that when we have some kind of conflict, we can face it better when we're not so fired up about it. Spencer, you're curled up in a ball like this. So she shows him what he's doing. She demonstrates, your body is telling me you want to hide from the hurt. Spencer says nothing and does nothing. Mrs. Bookbinder continues, your arms and legs are wrapped around you just like this. So here she's really getting on Spencer's level so he knows that she understands, instead of her just saying, oh, I know how you feel. She's really acting out what happened with him. 2 of your arms are covering your eyes just like this. Spencer peeks out to see what Mrs. Bookbinder is doing. She quickly responds, there you are. You seem so scared and sad. So always too, not only for children but for adults, having someone understand you and come from a place of understanding is also so important and makes us feel better already when we're having a difficult time. It's hard to come into a new school. You were hoping the class would welcome you instead of teasing you. You didn't know what to do, so you curled up and hid. Spencer nods sadly. As they listen, Shubert and his friends understand they have made a mistake. Etta's eyes and mouth crinkle into a frown. We're so mean, she groans. Mrs. Bookbinder responds, some hurtful things happened this morning. You saw someone who looked different on the outside. You had trouble understanding his feelings on the inside. Mrs. Bookbinder turns to Spencer. Spencer, are you willing to tell everyone how you felt this morning? And Spencer looks around nervously. Shubert says maybe he will feel better if we wish him well. They all put their hands on their hearts, take a deep breath, and genuinely wish Spencer well. Spencer begins slowly. I change schools a lot and I don't have many friends. Most kids are afraid of spiders and make fun of me. I was feeling excited and scared about meeting you. Holy cow, exclaims Benny as he squats down next to Spencer. I get it. I hoped you would be big like me. And when we teased you when you weren't, we were all excited to meet you. But when we saw someone different than us, we got a little scared and made fun of you. We didn't stop to think how that would make you feel. So again, that's the cornerstone of empathy right there. For kids to try to understand how someone feels. Ah, says Mrs. Bookbinder as she puts her arms in front of her and starts rolling them backwards. Do this with me. Everyone joins in, including Spencer, who has a lot of parts rolling. So they're kind of rolling back time so they can go back and have a do-over. Then she sings, when you find yourself in a hurtful situation, there's a way to create a helpful celebration. You can turn back time and practice new lines. She asks the class, are you willing to go back in time and do things differently so you can be helpful instead of hurtful? With joy, they shout, yes, yes, we can do it. She turns to Spencer. This was a difficult morning for you. You felt hurt. The class would like to welcome you in a helpful way. Are you willing to go back in time and start over? There is a hush in the classroom as everyone waits for Spencer's reply. Spencer says yes, and cheers blasts through the school family. Mrs. Bookbinder takes Spencer out of the room while Benny, Crenshaw, Lucinda, Etta, and the aunt triplets, Sophie, and Shubert join in a football huddle to plan their morning over again. They all whisper. Mrs. Bookbinder opens the door and announces, "Class, let's welcome a new member to our school family. His name is Spencer. Shubert, give Spencer the greeting you created." So they're trying to have a do-over. "We made a change," Shubert replies. "We decided our new friend should get a ginormous school family greeting. 1 is a knee touch by Crenshaw. 2 is a toe touch by the aunt triplets. 3 is a head touch by Etta. 4 is an elbow touch by Lucinda. 5 is a knuckle touch by Big Benny. 6 is a pinky hug by Sophie. 7 is a high five by Shubert. And 8 is Mrs. Bookbinder holding Spencer's hand with joy in her heart." So obviously with social distancing, some of these things would be a little bit limited, but we can certainly make up our own greetings and be very creative right now. "Now this is a real picture for the friends and family board," beams Big Benny. With that, Shubert begins to sing a song. "Hooray, hooray, a new friend to meet. Hooray, hooray, a new friend to greet. Hooray, hooray, we've learned to stop and see. Hooray, hooray, you have feelings like me." Excuse Miss Amy singing. So this book is a great example of how, again, when we really start to think about how other people feel, then empathy blooms in all of us. At the back of this book, it says Mrs. Bookbinder's Bits of Wisdom. There's great little points for the teacher, the parent, the administrator, anyone who's working with the kids on empathy. She prepares the class to have a new student. She calms herself down and can offer positive intent. So instead of being very upset with the kids that they hurt the new student, she calms herself down and knows this is a teachable moment. It's a lesson that we all need to learn and cultivate. So instead of being angry with them, she came from a different place and it was much more effective. She goes to the victim first. So that's really important too. She goes to Spencer first to see how he's doing instead of punishing or being angry with the kids that did it. She goes to the person that's been hurt first. And that's usually not our first reaction as adults. She observes Spencer in the survival state and offers empathy. So when she was describing his face, how he had his arms curled, everything like that, she's really getting down on his level and he recognizes that. She responds quickly with eye contact. So that's so important too for us to give the child our attention. She helps Spencer to understand how he's feeling, which is upset and sad. And she uses verbal language to the emotional state by saying, "It's very hard to be a new student. You were hoping we would welcome you, and instead you got your feelings hurt." When the kids say, "Oh, we're so mean," she really tries to encourage them to just make a different choice instead of focusing on the mean behavior or saying, "That was so mean," or "you know better." All the things that we very naturally say, conscious discipline is kind of turning it in a different direction so that the language is more positive and that the teaching is more positive behind it. She gets buy-in from the kids and willingness to do it over and start again, and then uses the hurtful interaction to teach the kids how to be empathetic to each other and maybe to show them how to do it correctly so that the next time maybe it goes a little bit differently. So I know that was kind of a long time to get through this book, but there's some really important highlights in here to encourage our kids to have the skill of empathy. Again, this was Schubert's New Friend, and I hope you all enjoyed it and got something out of it. And I wish you well and hope you have a great evening.